Absolutely. Just a little overview of what we have prepared for you tonight. I have two team members with me. We're going to take a quick glance back at 2018, the larger accomplishments that have been made in 2018. Thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you. And then we'll look forward at the priorities for 2019 for human resources. And we have Krista Pepe. She's going to do a glance back. She's the labor relations manager. And then we have Jeff Nelson. He's going to review the risk and safety, both a look back as well as a look forward. So that's what our time together, that's what we prepared for you today.
So for the HR look back at 2018, HR has sure been busy. We started the pay study for non-bargaining employees, and we are continuing that and hoping to wrap it up around December of this year. We also had successful police contract renewals and negotiations. We also had improved recruitment process for fire and police and other positions as well. We are following the recruitment procedures in the personnel code, along with following the collective bargaining agreements. Also the civil service rules and regulations. So we're really, sticking to our rules and regs in the department. We also have improved wellness programs and increased participation. We also opened it up to all employees, including SEIU union members. We have improved communication with departments beyond City Hall, and we feel that communication is essential for efficient operations. We also cross-trained within the department. We also have an increase in collaboration relative to training. We also had a reduction in grievances and arbitrations, and we attribute that to strong relationships that we all have with the unions. We also have new and ongoing implementation of benefits auditing, which for invoices and claims, which results in a cost savings to the city, and we have improved follow-up with employees. We also have team cohesion, which is, our team members work well together. It's a team effort, and we bring all of our knowledge, skills, and abilities together to the table to better serve the employees and the city and its citizens.
So this has been an amazing team, and I want to comment a little bit on this look back. The team has been functioning so well during 2018, and when I stepped into an amazing HR team. And as you can see, lots of accomplishments so far. We're really excited about what 2019 is bringing. So as you know, we've started on the pay study, and the plan, as Krista said, is for that to wrap up at the end of this year. But then comes the implementation. The plan is to implement the new and improved pay structure starting in 2019. We also have started looking through our personnel manual and the kind of administrative policies, and we do have some, quite a few that need a refreshing. It's time for refreshing. They're good policies, they serve the city well, but there are some updates and refreshing that needs to happen, so we're doing a thorough review of where we need to be. Also, the team, like I said, the team has been amazing and just a very, very strong team. But we do have a lot of manual processes. We have a lot of processes that are more cumbersome than they need to be. So we're doing an HR audit to identify where can we improve, how can we automate our processes, how can we become even more effective, and looking for opportunities to reduce the administrative burden based on how we achieve our work so that we can better serve the city. Another area, as we've been speaking with leaders across the city and looking at what is necessary to take us to another level as an organization, we have plans to improve leadership, technical and professional capabilities across the city, looking at opportunities to help our leaders grow, to help them become better leaders, providing leadership development, learning and development opportunities based on need. And when I say based on need, just kicked off our listening tour, which actually shows up under employee engagement strategies. And with the listening tour, we're traveling around various departments and boroughs with our listening ear to understand, as a part of our HR audit and as a part of understanding how we can better serve the city and how we can understand what we can be doing better as an HR department. What are we doing well? What can we do even better? What do you need from us in order for us to help you help your employees and help you become even more engaged, focusing on morale and employee engagement. So part of that is also gaining an understanding of what specific learning and development needs do we have so that we can start working towards meeting those needs. Another important thing is the health and wellness program. We've got a really nice health and wellness program, and as Krista mentioned earlier, we have had increased participation. This is really important for an organization that is self-insured. The more we can increase health and wellness in the organization, it can have an impact on medical claims. And so it also has an impact on employee engagement and morale. So the focus is looking at how can we really leverage the solutions that are offered by our vendors and continue to increase what we offer across the city from a health and wellness standpoint. Another area where we feel is really important for us to really elevate our game is around recruiting. The organization, the city has identified several kind of difficult to source key roles across the city. And it's important for us to target those areas, things like some of our trades roles, arborists, summer hires. These are some areas that we've had consistent difficulty in recruiting, but they're key roles in the city. And so for 2019, the focus is identifying solutions so that we can have a great pipeline of candidates and employees. So we're exploring some more innovative strategies and really looking at even exploring the opportunity to create some apprenticeships. So in 2019, it's really looking at how do we better support hiring in those areas. And again, I mentioned employee engagement strategies and then also compliance training. It's been years since we've provided compliance training, which is not some things like sexual harassment and other things that are not necessarily required yearly, but things that we need to make sure that our employees have an understanding of, and we've got records of their having been trained. And then the last one, Krista talked about the improved employee communication. We feel like that's still a focus, and that's an area that we want to, that we are focusing on in 2019. How can we make sure that we've got strong communication for our constituents, which are all the employees? So that's it for the human resources side of the house. Now, Jeff.
Hello. So we're going to look back to 2018 and what we have done. We restarted the Accident Review Committee. We had our first electrical 70E class, which was NFPA 70E. It's a standard with electricians working with electricity. We weren't properly training them or didn't provide them the proper clothing. So we're in the process of updating that since that's currently our biggest liability. Asbestos abatement, driving accident case to help reduce auto collisions. Exposure control, IAFF has let RISC join their cancer committee, so we can be a partnership with that with the Presumption Cancer Act. Also safety training, electrical equipment, doing job safety analysis, and hiring a new planning coordinator, Dan Steckel, who has a significant amount of city experience and is able to help me, navigate the waters when it comes to the government atmosphere. So when we look at priorities for 2019, there are several ones that come to mind. We are looking at risk management software in order to better manage our liabilities and risks, predictive analytics when it comes to our lawsuits, and items like that, trying to put more of a true number on the, budget versus a number that we're just using out the air. So what we're trying to do is also have all departments funnel their lawsuits into risk, so we can give this city and also the council and administration an opportunity to see what our real liabilities are versus putting them in different funds. Additionally, we're looking at setting up several RFPs with the purchase department when it comes to air duct cleaning as part of EPA. Air ducts has never been cleaned in the building. We've been going through it for years. We're trying to work on that. Working on arc flash assessment. That's due to all the number of electrical outlets we have had throughout the building. We never did electrical circuitry to see where we're at, where our potential is for the breakers to break and items like that. Work with the fire department again on the hazardous material. We have individuals leaving hazardous material on the, in the parkways and stuff like that. Like this year when it happened, cost us over $4,000. When it came to come out, it was non-hazardous. So we're putting control mechanisms in place to help ensure that we can do some form of cost containment. Additionally, working with Public Works and the Centerra contract to help find a body shop to help control the non-targeted costs with those things, and continue that partnership that Public Works has reached out to us and worked with us on. So ensuring that we are getting a better handle on our non-targeted costs. Additional is, again, selective PPE, hazard recognition. We're looking at different insurance options to ensure that we have the right insurance coverage for what the city needs, to make sure if we do have a major loss, that we have the funding or an insurance program in place to cover that, so we don't have an example where we have to go out and borrow money. And then also update our policies and procedures when it comes to risk and safety. And then, a operation and maintenance plan for asbestos when it comes to the EPA guidelines. We're still required to roll within those guidelines. So our goal is to try to get an operation and maintenance plan to be able to help serve, make sure we identify all our, asbestos locations and making sure we're maintaining it properly. And the people working in that environment is trained appropriately. So.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else? No? Do we have any comments from my colleagues?
Sure, after you, Ryan says.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the presentation, very clear. However, I do have some questions. Probably can start with Jeff right away. And the RFPs, what are those? You going to do RFPs, or is this request for proposal, or is this something else?
When we request a proposal, our goal is to try to create a strategy, because some of these things are gonna be very expensive, like the arc flash assessments. So it's impossible for me to ask the city to do that all at one time. So we're trying a strategy plan, seeing what the funding is needed over a year-to-year basis to ensure that we're still making an attempt to close our liabilities.
Okay, so you also want to increase your money for the risk management,
Yes, sir.
for insurance, something like that.
Yes, sir.
So, you're saying you're coming up with, you're gonna bring us a budget that is, gonna require more than what you're actually getting now, or, and at one point, we're trying, I hear people asking us, cut costs. Somebody said earlier, 10% across the board, somebody said 5%, 1%, and you're asking for more money.
Yes, it's needed. I mean, the city has significant liabilities that can put us in an even more financial hole. And we need to figure out ways to mitigate that, and some items to mitigate that is through the RFP process. By getting out there with a simple fact, with the number of electricities we have throughout the building, making sure that we don't set these buildings on fire. If they are set on fire, we have proper insurance coverage.
I got you, because my question is, can we use our own experts in the city to look at our electrician, to look at our buildings, the fire department from the city, to look at our fire, influence and do fire prevention throughout the city?
This is a little bit more, there's certain levels of certification, and that's actually somebody pulling the breaker panel open and looking at the electrical circuits inside.
That's what they do, I'm sorry to interrupt you, that's what they do when they go out to another house, to a house or a building outside of the city, on the property. Why can't they do it right here in our city? So we can have our house clean before we go out, even before we go out to somebody else.
Because we won't have our panels arc flash rated. That way, we know when our persons are going inside there, what panel what is the amount of arc flash equipment they needed. Our electricians, unless, and I'll work with Leonard's department to make sure I was correct, but when you have an panel that's arc flash rated, that tells you how much electrical equipment you need to put on, what type of PPE level is required. My understanding is our master electricians, our inspectors are not, currently trained, to be able to significantly tell us what the arc flash rating is on these panels. They just go out, my understanding is seeing if it's safe or not safe. But again, I can work with that department. to
Yeah,
ensure-
I mean, I got you, but I'm thinking, they're the one who actually going out to the streets and telling people how to inspect the properties. I mean, they're the one who actually do that outside. If we have a building or somebody building a building or somebody selling a property, they have to go and inspect it.
Yes.
That's our people who do that. And you're telling that they don't have the expertise to do that inside?
There's certain, equipment required to do that. I don't know the inspection process, but what I can do is work with the,
Yeah, please, yeah.
Only if I may, there's a difference between telling someone what you have to do in order to construct electrical systems. So they're telling them, you must meet this code. There's a difference between that and someone else who goes in and actually is certified to test equipment, in some cases high voltage equipment.
Yeah, find out, a thousand times, right, what you saying. Please find out from the code inspector, it's a thousand times, right. I mean, they're the one who actually supposed to go, they go out to a lot of properties around the city. And they're the one who go and they usually have like a little, a meter and they can tell you if it's a good GFI or not.
And that's for pole iron, but you can buy that at Home Depot.
I know, I have a couple. But I'm saying, they're the one who's supposed to go out and tell our people are the one who inspect it. We don't hire extra people to go out and inspect the buildings, we do it ourselves.
They can't tell, with their certification and all, I doubt that they can tell you whether that's been measured properly and that will pass arc flash.
yeah, and more about the arc flash assessment is the mathematical equation to tell somebody, 'cause there's a liability there. If you have the wrong arc flash rating on that panel, and somebody ends up dying because they didn't have the proper reading on the panel, tell you how far to stay back, type of PPE to use on that panel, that can, again, bring unnecessary liability to the city.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, I just want to make sure that we clean our house, I think you're on the right track. I just want to make sure that our people should be able to help us, because they're going out, that's one of the people that the city depends on.
So we can, as we put the RFP together, we can look at what pieces of it can be done in-house and what pieces of it, because there are pieces of it based on certification, based on equipment that does need to be outsourced. There very likely is a part of it that we can do in-house, so we will review that.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Again, I'm just looking on the financial side of the city.
Of course.
Got a couple of questions for you. Sorry. One is, the compliance training that you would operate to do. What kind of compliance are you talking about?
So we're looking at-
Do you have, I'm going to say like,
Sexual harassment is one of them, yeah, sexual harassment is one of them. Another area is, we want to make sure that we're following labor law as we're interviewing people. So we're gonna, as we're looking at our, reviewing our hiring process, we want to make sure that that all managers, everyone who is a part of an interview process is following proper protocol based on labor law. So any area where we could be out of legal compliance, we're exploring that right now, and that's the type of training that we'll offer. But part of our listening tour is finding out where we are.
okay. Another question, is, we just had a police officer talk about, updating their system, they're trying to get a bonus. And you also said that you want to, what was the word you use? Automate, that's it. Automate your system. Probably, and the way I thought that it worked is, HR gets those systems and then provide them to the departments that need it, like the police department. As opposed to having the police department getting the system, and then doing it themselves. I think HR should take a role of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Typically, when an organization brings in Kronos, it is through HR. So and that's again, a part of our listening tour. I'm still kind of new, so I haven't had a chance to get out there yet and really connect and see how we can collaborate and support. But clearly, that is an opportunity for us to provide support.
Correct. Last question, perhaps, I have more, but I'm just gonna ask one more, somebody else may ask. It's in regard to the implementation of the pay study. What are we on that?
So we have we have picked it up and really gone full speed ahead with it. We have identified exactly which jobs still need to be reviewed, and there's only a few, actually. And in fact, I reached out to all of the managers today to get it closed up so that all of the jobs that need to be reviewed are reviewed by October 3rd.
And that will come before us, before anything.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And so, so we are moving fast forward on it. We actually even required a little bit of a different approach to collecting data. So here's one example, in order to expedite this process. So here's an example. Our consultant's normal process is to go out to 6 different municipalities and collect data from them. And he's got a tool that he uses that's a little bit cumbersome. We only have 3 data points. You cannot do a proper market pricing unless you have 6 data points. So what we did is require that instead of waiting for all these other municipalities to weigh in, that we use existing salary studies. So we have been working with him to expedite the completion of this process, but with a quality job.
And you're looking to do that, to finish it by when, you said? Sorry.
By the end of December.
Okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Madam Chairwoman.
Questions? Mr. Robbins?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Saladin, I'm only going to speak to one thing since we're running behind schedule tonight and we have a lot to come. The rest I'll try to get with you offline on. I want to thank you for the presentation and thank your staff. It's very well done. The only thing I would say to Mr. Greedy's point when he was talking about risk management is I would also ask that while we look in-house to see what our capabilities are, that we also check with the solicitor's office as to what liability that could put us at. Because I'm sure that an attorney who would choose to sue us over something would cite the fact that we certified ourselves as a reason in why perhaps we weren't doing our jobs right. So I'm just curious, if we would try to certify ourselves in-house, what liability potential could that open risk management up to? And that's the only thing I'll ask now. The rest I'll try to get with you and your staff offline. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Mr. Zuko?
Yes, thank you, Sal. Jeff, on your first slide,
Yes, sir.
you were talking about hiring an additional employee,
No,
or he's already there?
he's already here. Yes, he's currently in that role right now.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions from my colleagues?
No.
Ms. Moses?
Yes. Hi, good evening.
Hi.
You mentioned employee engagement. Will that be customer service?
That is a part of it, absolutely. That is one of the things that's on our radar for. So part of it is understanding internal customer service as well as customer service for the citizen-facing people. When we talk, so part of it is understanding where we are from the standpoint of how we're supporting each other as internal customers. But the other part of it falls under the learning and development, the training, leadership development piece, and customer service. We've heard loud and clear already how important that is, and that is a part of our strategy for 2019.
Okay, I have another question. When you were saying about jobs that are difficult in recruiting, what are you referring to?
So one of those jobs would be the lifeguard jobs. So we're looking at ways to be able to better recruit in those areas. And Krista has been working with recreation to come up with strategies to be able to improve that. But there are also trades positions that can be difficult to recruit. There's a skills gap in the Lehigh Valley for certain maintenance positions, for certain maintenance skills. And because of our salary structure, it sometimes makes it difficult to attract the strongest talent in those areas.
So looking at that, you're also looking at the pay, how much they're getting paid, especially with the lifeguard and things like that, right?
Yes,
Looking at the pay rate.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If a lifeguard can go and make 50 cents more at McDonald's, it's gonna be hard to keep them.
I agree
Absolutely.
with you. And my last question is, you mentioned about HR. You said that the HR manual, that was what you were referring to, right? Policies. And
Yes.
You mentioned that it needs to be refreshed.
Yes.
Can you give me an example?
Yes, let me think about this, because I've been.
Or perhaps how long has it been that no one has looked at this
They have
manual?
been looked at, and my predecessor actually has started the process of reviewing them. And in fact, the team members have been reviewing those for their specific areas. It's been a while since they've been updated, but the update process has begun.
Okay, that's good enough, thank you.
Any other questions from my colleagues? I would just like to state welcome,
Thank you.
and it was a great presentation, and I have all the confidence that you and your crew will do a good job. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Anything from the audience? Anybody have any? Mr. Hahn?
Good evening, Tom Hahn, Eastside of Allentown. I'm happy to say that this is the first HR report that I got that we can use as a sample of how we're gonna save on the budget. If all the things that they talked about on saving money and getting the workload reduced, so we don't need more people, and we don't need to give raises for people who are overworked. That's the idea of what I've been saying all along, that a reduction in the amount of revenue and workload eases the 10% reduction in all departments. So I congratulate her that if she does all the cost savings, maybe we won't need any money in that department, that the budget will take care of itself by doing what's there. So having that as an example, I think is the first time that we have something to base the other departments on.
Thank you, Mr. Hahn. All right, that concludes the committee meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll start the public works meeting now. Okay, Mr. Hanlon, let it be known that I'm present as well, obviously, and members Hendricks and Councilman Robinson are also present. Would you read Bill 57, please?
Bill 57 amends the stormwater fund budget to provide for transfer to the 2018 general fund to correct the stormwater expenditures that were charged to the general fund in the first half of 2018. All funds were budgeted in the newly created stormwater fund for 2018 due to the 2017 rollovers, incorrect personnel distribution. Previous general fund accounts were used, causing a negative balance. There's no financial impact from this transfer.
And obviously, the most important sentence is the last one. Mr. Messinger, if you could comment on that, please?
Yeah, these are some expenses that unfortunately were not changed over into the stormwater fee when it began in 2018. 2017, it was in the general fund. These were expended in the beginning of the year before it was seen that these were expended. We stopped it, but we have to now make that whole in the general fund with it. So this is taking funds from the stormwater fee, the stormwater fund, and to get back to the general fund.
No increase to the taxpayers, correct? All right. Any comments from my colleagues? Anybody from the public? Okay, this meeting will be adjourned.
Well, we need to make a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to
Thank you.
forward favorably to the full council.
that motion.
Councilman Henderson. Okay, we'll send it favorably to regular meeting. Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to the contracts meeting.
All right, I see Mr. Bree stepped out for a minute, but we can move forward. Mr. Hanlon,
R110
R110.
is an authorization for engagement of professional services with Urban Design Ventures for $15,000, which is the city's share of a multi-government MOU with Easton and Bethlehem for assistance in preparing an analysis of impediments to the fair housing choice. There were 3 bids in this.
thank you.
Good evening. Northampton County was the lead agency on this bid. They issued RFP 3031638 to select a firm to provide these services. The county ultimately selected Urban Design Ventures to be the most qualified candidate. As a result, the city of Allentown wishes to enter into a multi-municipal MOU agreement with them in accordance with the RFP.
Okay, so they were picked by Northampton County. And
We're
Part of
piggybacking
it.
it.
any questions from my colleagues?
I have one question, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Mr. Rowe.
Do we know if any of the, other than Northampton County, obviously, if any of the other municipalities in the MOU have already approved the contract?
Yes, Bethlehem has.
Okay, so it's us and Easton that are still remaining to approve this?
Easton is part of Northampton County now.
Okay, so
Their
they're,
funds have all been rolled into Northampton County.
so then it's just down to us to make sure that this contract can be executed. Fantastic, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Anybody else from council? Anybody from the public?
Ken Abitrager, St. Cloud Street, represent the Allentown Center Station. Only question was, this is an analysis of all 3, is it gonna be just a general analysis? Or is Allentown to receive some kind of individualized information out of this? Because, we do just keep throwing money at all kinds of housing studies and everything all the time that never go anywhere. It seemed to be that we are a much different city than Bethlehem and Easton, that this is just gonna be a general overview. I'm not sure how much that really is gonna benefit us. That's my question.
The study is overall, but there is a section that is pulled out strictly for each community, Allentown, Easton, Bethlehem, and Northampton County.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else from the public? Seeing nobody, Mr. Hanlon.
Okay, we're gonna try the iPads or?
Yep, we'll vote on the iPad. Everybody's joining the meeting and has them.
Everybody except for Courtney, see connected.
Thought I wasn't, didn't look to me, give me 1 second, never mind. Yeah, no, I thought I clicked join, I think I did. Figures it out.
Okay, Mr. Robinson.
Yes. Here we go.
Gave you a yes already.
And there is a,
Brenda, 7 yeas and no.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Hanlon. R110B.
R110B is an authorization for engagement of professional services with Wilmington Trust for $17,500 to be a paying agent for the 2018 city bond issuance, and there were 3 bids.
I'll take this one on directly. This is part of what you're going to be dealing with tonight on Bill 60. After what was talked about last week, and some concerns about wanting to be sure that whoever was being brought onto these bond issuances was notified, the council was notified as such. We were getting ready to make the selection of the paying agent that deals with actually making the payments to bondholders during the course of the loan. The overall cost of this over a period of all the way to 2034 will be practically less than $20,000. There are only 4 entities in this space that, from what I understand, actually do these kind of services because they're very minimal in terms of compensation. 3 of them were contacted in terms of the bid. The 4th one, I think, is based in Minnesota. So we tried to get ones that were, I think, closer to us. And there was actually one lower bid than the one that we are choosing, but they are an entity that is working with an ISDA, and due to our special relationship with the NIS that they can't work with us. But all of the amounts came in at $17,600 and lower.
Okay, thank you very much. Any comments from our colleagues?
My only comment is I guess we should sort of put this on the agenda with that, but whatever, anybody from the public?
Thank you, Mr. President. You said it on time. My question is, why do we always have to go out of town? PNC Bank is going to be issuing in Philadelphia. Now Wilmington Bank, I guess, are from Delaware. Are you telling me, Ms. Hartzell just told me they're not even the low bidder? We can't get anything from Allentown even to be the agent to take care of the payments of the bond issues, which we have here. Here we have PNC from Philadelphia that's going to do the issuing that, which is a good deal, selling the bonds to their customers. That's what's most you want to take care of your customers when you have a bond issue. We're trying to, we're getting a lot of people to move downtown, we're getting business to move downtown, but we're going out of town. I think city council got to sit down with the administration, find out why we can't get more, why the administration can deal with more business in Allentown. I mean, this is a good job of an issuing agent, you know how this stuff works. Sometimes you have to pay out the bond, right, Leo? Sometimes the person dies, you sit on the money for 3 years and make the interest. And that's why you can do so. I mean, this is the best job in town, issuing agent, because they can play with the money. Now, we have to make sure we send our payment timely when the bonds are due, but sometimes you don't pay out all that money and you sit on it. Are you telling me there's no banks downtown that can do it, Mr. Hartzell?
The role of paying agent, because it is not a very large dollar amount, the individual entities that we reach out to, who all have a strong presence in this part of the country, are the ones that are actively doing this and were able to give us the best deal. So practically speaking, there was not an Allentown option. No doubt we would have considered it if there was.
Did you submit an RFP to an Allentown bank?
There's not an RFP here. The total amount was under $40,000, so the overall, we reached out to 3 entities that were in the space.
Who chose it? You were the consultant.
That decision, because it is tied to the overall bond issue, was made by the consultant, and I approved it.
You approved, okay. Mr. Chairman, I think we should look into, we can deal with more with Allentown, whatever we can. Like an issuing agent is a good deal. Like I said, you can sit on the money, you don't have to pay the bond, they can sit on it for 3 years, so they send it to Harrisburg, but it's not claimed. Thank you. So they can own it and money for free, earn money for 3 years.
Thank you, Mr. Hurd. Anybody else from the public?
Going Hunsaker, South Allentown, I'm just trying to learn something here. How much of the money are they going to be handling? Are they gonna handle the $30 million and basically distribute the funds?
Anything that is they are tied to out of the bond issuances that are coming forward tonight, they will serve as the paying agent for. So that would include the short-term loan for equipment and the $23 million in refinancing. Yes.
This is a fixed cost to them?
Yes.
And for how many years?
That entire cost on an annual basis is going to run somewhere between $500 and $1,000, and it will be in existence for as long as the loan terms exist, depending on the individual loans, which will amortize completely in 2024 or later. The overall cost dating all the way out to 2034 is $17,500.
You're sure?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else from the public? Seeing nobody, Mr. Hanna.
I see we have it on the iPad.
Mr. President, I have 7 yeas and 10 nays.
All right, thank you very much. We're now going to adjourn the contract approval. We're going to take a 2-minute break. Let's make it 3 minutes. We're going to reconvene at 7:15 promptly.